Hey, welcome back to Speak Podcast, Special People Encouraging a Kid. This is Barisha Bree for the podcast. I am your host, and I am ready to talk about this content on today. But before I get into it, I want to give you this disclaimer of the National Suicide Prevention and Crisis Hotline, just for you who may be experiencing suicidal ideations or considerations or even attempt, or you may even be experiencing bullying. You can contact the National Suicide Prevention and Crisis Hotline by dialing 988 or texting the numbers 988 or text 838-355. If you are in immediate danger, call 911 or your local law enforcement. Let's get into it. Let's get into this episode for today. The name or title of this episode is called Mirror, Mirror. What? Here is another episode with something like, what is she talking about? What are they doing here at Speak Podcast? So this episode, Mirror, Mirror, is really, really dear to my heart. Something that actually I am growing from. So I wanted to share it with you. Remember the fairy tale, the Disney movie, Snow White, and the evil queen talking about or talking to the magic mirror. Mirror, mirror on the wall, who is the fairest of them all? She goes to this mirror because in her mind, she needed to be validated. She needed to know who was the fairest in the land, who was the most beautiful person in the kingdom. And when she realized that it really wasn't her, but it was Snow White, she became furious and she became so enraged that she wanted to kill Snow White. Have you ever looked in the mirror and wondered, who is this person? Have you ever looked and saw rage in your eyes, or anger or jealousy in your eyes? Have you looked in the mirror and didn't even recognize who you were because of all the things that you've experienced? The abuse, the trauma, the thoughts of suicidal consideration, or even attempts, or the bullying, all the things that's going on in your life, and you feel like, man, I'm overwhelmed. You're looking at yourself and you can't even recognize who you are. Others around you can't recognize who you are. Or you put on this facade to look like or appear to be someone that you're not. And so you're asking in the mirror, mirror, mirror on the wall, who is this person staring at the wall in this mirror? Think about the people in your life who may see the blind things that you don't see, those blind spots. You're carrying on the hurt in your face or in your disposition. You're carrying the weight on your shoulders because of all the things that you've gone through. Again, here at Speak Podcast, we are not negating anything that anyone is going through. We've been there. We're in it. We're wanting to help you, our kids, our children, our youth, to know that you can get through this. So the mirror that you have, grab the mirror. Take a moment and just grab the mirror. I'm going to use this iPad and I'm going to go to the camera and look in it. And as you're looking in the mirror, ask yourself, who am I? What do you see when you're looking in the mirror? Speak affirmations to yourself. Know that you are fearfully and wonderfully made by God. When you look in the mirror, are you hoping to look like someone else? Are you hoping that that freckle or that pimple or that blemish could disappear? Is it causing you insecurities because somebody pointed it out or someone is making fun of you? And now you're thinking, when you see yourself, you're not good enough. You're not ugly, or that you are ugly, but you're not ugly. But you're saying or you're thinking to yourself because of something that someone else is pointing out or making fun of. So you look in the mirror and you don't recognize who you really are. So we want you to just take time and grab a mirror and go back and look in it again and see the beauty, see the person who God have created you to be. When I said earlier that this is dear to my heart, because it is. This is something that I've actually struggled with. And I remember going to the mirror and not recognizing who I am because of the weight of feeling not good enough or feeling lonely or feeling like I'm unaccepted by people, my peers, or whatever it was. And I kept trying to appease or get the approval from others. It was just like looking in the mirror, getting the validation from other people until I began to see the reflection of Christ in me. I began to see who I really am. And it took time. It didn't happen just in one day, or it took time, and it's still taking time. I'm still processing. And the more that I get to look in the mirror, the more that I see myself, the more I see Christ in me. Again, we're not here to push any of our belief or our Christianity on anyone, but we're wanting to encourage you that you are fearfully and wonderfully made by God. So we leave you with this scripture from Psalms 139 in the 14th verse, and it says, I praise you because I am fearfully and wonderfully made. You made me wonderful, and I know it full well. So even if you don't know, or even if you don't have anyone in your life to affirm you, speak it to yourself. Give yourself daily affirmations because you are wonderfully made by God. So we hope that you can take something away from this on today and maybe look in the mirror. And when you look in the mirror, it can be a different way that you look at it, that you see yourself. Maybe some of your friends you can get together and hey girls, look, hey, grab a mirror. Guys, go into the locker room and look in the mirror and just see yourself different and tell yourself, I am enough. I am fearfully and wonderfully made by God. Tell yourself, hey, you're beautiful. No matter what it is that you've gone through, we're here to encourage you to keep living, to live again, to speak up, to speak out, to speak again, share your story. This is Speak Podcast, Special People Encouraging a Kid. We ask that you share this podcast with others, that you subscribe to it, that you like it, that you drop a comment or share any concerns that you have or ask any questions. We thank you for being here. We're continuing to grow and more episodes are going to come. So this is what we want to leave for you today. And you can always email us at speakpodcast1, the number 1, at gmail.com. Again, that's speakpodcast, the number 1, at gmail.com. We hope to see you again. Thank you for joining us at Speak Podcast.